on you. He was the most racist player in NBA history. Man, people gonna laugh when I say this, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I say Larry Bird, and I don't mean it the way people might think. Larry wasn't a hateful guy, but he used race as motivation on the court, and he. I remember
Once the only person who ever wanted to meet is Little Richard. I said, if you, because that
Tell me if you
increases
can
your chances
hear
of winning.
any audio.
Like he's
Yeah, at least from the. Like I'm watching a stream right now. Tell me if you can hear it.
how do you play this like okay, so it's literally just a bass slap part, and I get it, I totally get it. A lot of people were like, oh, look at Mean Street there. It wasn't, and no, it's not. Mean Street
But
is
does it sound like it's going through the mic?
and
And then tell me now if you can hear it once it catches up.
but it's just a bass slap.
Rocking a hard place, good thing for him. He finds at least one ghosty on the pinch, and we're in.
Yeah, I'm hearing something. Is this like a COD event or something?
And when you have this, like, I'm going to call it factory for now, the official combo. When you have this factory side, dude, and you're spawning in front, you can just launch tags over and over.
I mean, it's still pretty quiet, but I do hear it.
Yeah, I just want to know if I could cut it off completely, because that means I can listen to music or like watch something that's copyrighted.
Still a tie game. Little lead chase coming in. P1 popping in 10.
Separate themselves as much as they can, even that battle towards new. Plenty of pressure.
All right, GT, you got hold.
Hit it on a P1. Kind of weird.
Ah, that's a big first kill, though.
LDD. Well, P1, it could come down to the wire here. We've seen a lot of blowouts on some
Yep, finesse it.
this one. We are sharing the ball.
Or just challenge.
For a second, Paris are in. Neptune trying to get involved. The hops have got to be perfect. The timing is good. He's on for the ult.
I mean, he's just going for style points.
Hardpoint's going to change hands for a moment longer. Another win from Krem there. And now the race is on to get a man behind the bar. I mean, this is a good time, dude. You can win this on P1 and hold it down. Down low, though, Envoy going to be a problem.
Dude, this is a fucking bang out.
We lose a little bit of pressure on the front pairs. Winning those key.
They got nobody out behind them, though.
For the swarm, and at the very least, we should be forcing this to the rotation.
What do you think about redeemed women?
This is a vet pinch. Oh, no.
That's what they're being redeemed for.
Look how far his teammates are spawning out.
You know what they're being redeemed for, dog.
Doesn't exist.
He's got to stay up, though.
Whoa!
7, can he sneak through? There's no way.
The fuck do you mean it don't exist?
GG. Hey, G2 fought, though. That was a good map out of G2. But Daniel goes to yet again 30 and 18.
Well, look at it this way, right?
Yeah, G2.
If I have a nice car and there's someone that
Chat, you guys enjoying watching that map, or what's up?
likes to scratch paint off of
I fuck
cars,
with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
I
enjoy watching
don't
it.
have to
I fuck with it. I'm
trust
just
him
gonna get sick
around
of
me,
it if
even
it's
if
every
he's
single
been
series.
redeemed.
If it's in.
Whoa.
So yeah, Dan Ghosty has a pop-off map. Let's see who else is frying.
The handshake checks me, dude. I think it's hilarious.
It's like you don't really hear about dudes like, oh yeah, I
Dylan
was in
Envoy
prison for
also.
rape, but
Look
I'm
at
good now,
Dylan.
so you
Holy
can
shit,
date me. Like,
4.1
it's
for
not-
the kill.
Nice.
Is that kill?
It's his gun, bro.
Yeah,
Found his gun.
It really is his gun. Caesar has a tough one.
Honestly, for the amount they just got outslayed to keep it within 20 points, it's not that bad. He's not having it anymore, bro.
No, he was not. You know what? He respects his coach. He was.
He's alright, man. Fuck.
I gotta ask Brother Mo why he does that.
Alright, next map coming up. We've got a Scar SND. G2 plays this map quite a bit. So does Paris. At this point, these teams, I mean, you're playing a Scar. Everyone's been playing Scar. See who clutches up. Dylan Actually, Dylan might be able to work shop now with this NPC. Because with the Dravic, Dylan would go and shop and just die every time. And I kind of felt bad for him. But now he's got the shotgun in there. So we'll see if it helps him out. No, he's not prone, is he?
Yeah, he is, but
Is he? That looks insane if he's prone.
Yeah, he is brown.
Is that a stair glitch?
I don't think it is technically a stair glitch, but
But we saw Toby doing that earlier too, and he was laying in the center of the stairs. Like, what's the call if you're laying in the center of the stairs? Because usually a stair glitch you gotta be like at the top, where you fuck up a player model. If you're laying in the middle
bro,
of the
it's
stairs,
so weird nowadays because like the way you like lay down in this game and like you can like turn basically 180 like on your back, like you can't really lay anywhere that's near a staircase or it's gonna be a stair glitch.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not. And he's 30 HP. I don't know.
he's playing his life. It's not like an intentional one.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
He's like, he might be trying to like one pump it.
I don't know. That might be like.
Fuck it, dude. No more scrims for Genomates. Who's
Yeah,
on
just
it?
chalk them up. Fuck it.
No more scrims for him.
Because it used to be the staircase used to be like you had to be on the staircase. Like you had to actually be laying on them.
Yeah, like at the top.
Yeah.
No shit. Running low over here.
Are you?
Oh yeah, running low. But all right, map one. Genomates, close one though. G2, but that's kind of been like their series yesterday. They lose a 250, 249 hard point. Like they're getting these maps close, but not closing them out. Close but no cigar.
Better do it with a steam machine, and it won't
I won't be on tonight,
Crimson
by the
Desert,
way.
you both got to try. I've seen that game. Is that like an MMO or is it more of like an RPG? Because I'm not really with the RPG games that much.
What's it called?
Crimson Desert just came out recently.
Yeah, people have been gassing that.
I'm a COD one trick, bro.
Really? You haven't played like Last of Us or nothing?
No, I play like God of War. I start these games and then I just.
Yeah, just get to a point where it's just like.
It's an MMO, but see, like World of Warcraft completely fucked my outlook on all MMOs because I just feel like nothing will ever come close to hitting that point for me that I like. So I'm like, I don't even want to give other games another chance because I just feel like I'm not gonna like it as much as that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yo, have you guys seen that? It's like a new console. It's like a modded Nintendo 64. Have you seen what I'm talking about? Chat, you guys know what I'm talking about? I think Casey Neistat has it.
he has what?
He has the thing. What is it? It's like a modded Nintendo 64 thing. What's it called, Riley? One more time? Mod Retro. Yes, this. It's like, this
Does it
looks
have old
pretty dope.
games?
Yeah.
That looks fire.
Casey Neistat? Casey Neistat. You know what I meant. Casey Neistat.
See, I don't think like, would you actually go back and play an N64 game though?
I don't know. I have TikTok brain up.
Like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like you'd play it for 30 minutes and then be like, God, I don't play League. What the fuck is this?
That is true.
Oh, Caesar, come on. Give us a clip, you fuck. No clip today.
Damn. Okay. Quick first round bang out. I might play like Pokemon or something or Star Fox. But other than that, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot was fire.
Bro, Crash Bandicoot is the dumbest name ever.
It's a little mask. I'm pretty sure.
I always thought it was Crash
Why,
Bandicoot.
though?
That's all I remember.
It just sounds dumb.
Console only.
Crash Bandicoot just sounds better than Bandicoot. I don't even
Bandicoot?
Yeah,
That's fucking horrible. Bandicoot?
Bandicoot?
If you get that shit, I'll give
Versus
That at least sound-
Bandicoot?
Yeah, that at least almost sounds like
No,
a
that
place.
sounds terrible.
You just won't. I just know you won't.
How much did it cost, Riley?
That is a dirty angle to watch that low trench.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Get off your fucking meds, bro. You're having a fucking aneurysm.
$199?
Annoying angle to play with
Okay,
your
perfect. I'm getting it for
I
150.
feel like if you say Crash Bandicoot, you have to like pause halfway.
side of the window. What a shot from Skies.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe
Bueno
you do.
opens it up.
Perfect in those first bloods.
On Dante,
Well, I've
we already
never
know
heard anyone
Dante don't
say
give a
what
shit.
doesn't
He
say
will
that.
chow.
Sniped player in
Dante was probably standing on top of the map.
How many times have you heard people say it?
Standing on top of the roof. Just like,
Recently a lot, but before like 5 years ago, not much.
G2 square in the middle map. Great coverage.
So what's so weird about Crash Bandicoot versus
okay, crap finds him.
Crash Bandicoot, that like I feel like I've heard that all my life.
Okay, they get one back, trade, 3v1
Like it just
now.
sounds normal. Like I don't think of that and be like, that sounds like someone
Well,
pronounce it wrong.
No, they're
Or
giving
some
it
like
to him.
weird fucking name.
It's gone now.
Oh, he like kind of read it. All right, 1-1. Good round.
Right read there.
Opening kick out of Bueno.
Execution for Minnesota. Shout out Disguise. Nice first blood. Able to catch Sid just standing tall and proud from blue. And then Craig got his get back.
Would you play WoW in the off-season, off-stream? Bro, I don't even know. Oh, what a shot.
Just a little jump stop.
I don't know what he's going to be playing.
The hell?
Caesar lost his mind. Or I mean, Dante.
Sim is doing everything there. He covers himself from the guy in top
Beautiful
green. He covers
Caesar.
himself from the guy who's down low mid. He is safe to peek that angle. Didn't know about that.
I might be getting like a CS arc, bro.
Pain in the crack.
CS?
Yeah.
That's just less than we do.
I just don't know what to play.
Yeah, ain't nothing to play.
It's like, I don't know. It's so hard for me to like start something and like get really, really into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll like one off it, but like to really lock the fuck into it, it takes a lot. And I think that's just my fucking brain.
Yes.
Right here. Two quick ones?
I don't think I played the last one. But I do like
one?
that. Those are fire.
Okay, there's a scam. Hold on. Ooh, he wins that. It gets hairy. All right, 2-1, Gentlemates. That was like a weird round of the G2. It was like a mid hit. This got picked apart mid.
Carolina wins game 1.
Rocket League? Dude, that inverted shit's hard for me.
Timing on Neptune's side and his ability to dodge those nades.
They're calling me a lawnmower in Rocket League. I couldn't leave the ground.
Number 8 on his team, but one player missed.
You guys trying to iron in Rocket League?
Bro, that shit's hard, bro. Like, that takes time.
I can't play Rocket League.
My brain is like, my brain can't even like keep up with what my hands are trying to do because it's inverted. I can't do anything.
Some looks here. We go for Neptune with a low crawl.
You were a lawnmower in COD too? Shit, the best model, fucking John Deere
Extra cautious now.
X900. Where the fuck's out right now?
Sniper. A real enemy of the gate stuff here. That is a Vasily Saitsev who unfortunately does miss, but it's
There he is. Yeah, come on, Dill. Get yours in shot.
Envoy goes with
Oh,
it.
shit.
Gives up 2 out of that life. And now Skies once again.
Bro, I felt so bad for him, Ken. He'd go in there, play a corner. They would just double slide, check it, like, and then he'd go in next
and
round.
starts throwing smoke. I'm like, yeah.
Bro, he could not get anything going in there.
Got his gun now, bro.
I 1v3 Daniel.
It's not just Cramp who is not but 2.
Caesar.
Ghosty 1 versus 3.
Ooh, Caesar got him a little. He's frozen.
Not a player that's going to make a mistake. It's hard enough to do this down a man, nade out 2. Ghosty completely.
Yo, you there?
Okay, 2-2.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Have you seen the leaks for the new Avatar animated movie?
Talking about inverted, isn't Rocket League
No, I
like
haven't heard
inverted?
of it at all.
Like in the air, like you look up, it looks down.
Animated, like,
Last Airbender.
yeah.
I don't think
I thought they would do like
only in the air.
live action,
Okay, I don't have to worry.
or is it from like?
I'm good.
Well, they're already doing a show live action.
Oh, maybe that's not. Is it Is it not? I guess it's not like a
Are
Hollywood
they
production.
starting?
It's like
Yep.
the original
Fuck yeah.
people. Or,
Well, it's them as adults, and dude, fucking Katara looks so fucking hot, dude.
Little double B break. Oh, Cramp's gonna shoot the gap.
I hope they fucking do some M-rated shit.
Good play from
I want to see Katara naked, bro.
G2 are definitely looking better today, just in terms of the eye test.
Like, this ain't fucking Nickelodeon anymore, dude. We want to see the titties.
So close. 250, 249, then they just broke down map 2, like, oh. But Gentlemates also, it's like,
Is
we're
that
not
on a
really that
streaming
sold on
service?
them online. Like on
The
land,
original
yeah, they
show?
get better, but online they've been struggling a little bit.
It's on Netflix.
Super struggling.
And Dan, last alive again.
Yeah, this guy's in the 1v3 simulator.
how many seasons is that?
It's 3 seasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was 4, but
Yo, if I
Something
play
like
CS,
this.
has anybody got me on a $10,000 knife, chat?
It was harder to gauge back then how many
Yeah,
seasons
go
there
on.
were because
Go on, Riley.
like Channel
Looks more like
45 or
Scrap.
whatever would just play reruns so you couldn't tell how many there were.
BO3.
Matt might give you one.
What'd you say?
Nate Shot might hook you up.
That was like middle
Does he still
school,
have all his games?
right?
Sure. He's not giving me shit, bro.
What, when that show came out?
Yeah, like
Like,
we
you
were
think
young as
Matt would
fuck.
actually... Yeah, he's not gonna...
Yeah.
It depends on what mood you get in.
I wouldn't give it to him.
I know you would.
That's when people like in my area, like on
Bro, I
these
used to have a
streets, actually
karambit, like,
went outside and
a
played sports
karambit,
together
like,
instead of just people in the same
it was
house.
a pretty good color pad. I don't know what happened to the account, though.
No,
I think
I
I
don't
just lost
think anyone knows anyone.
One thing I don't miss from downtown is that traffic for these games, bro.
Yeah, fuck that. Bro, you know what I don't miss? When we used to do a watch party at the old office,
Yeah.
when they played the drums and shit outside,
Or you can hear it.
yeah, it was like a rock festival. Every time the stars would play. And the stream could hear it, we could hear it. We were just tweaking the whole time.
Jesus.
It was so loud. Okay, hey, G2.
they are.
G2.
4-2.
Quick round.
With a stronghold over Scott. And it seems like for the moment we're almost playing a game of live and die by the Sims. A lot of weird connections
Blood.
with the sniper rifle.
Blood.
Thank you. Been jumping up to back 18 sort of for the channel, but if Sim's missing, well, that means
All right, can they get it to 5-2? 5-2, it's like, all right.
G2 teamwork there.
Big round coming up here.
Envoy gets a single kill from P1 in the middle of the map, and there's 3 different players on G2 that are there to jump on him after the fact. So good defensive setup, and well played on Scar. Sib, yet to get anything going.
Yeah, Sib hasn't found the board yet. And usually he's automatic with the snipe on this.
Wait, go for how much time have you spent in here? I didn't see it.
Mamba got that stealth bomber mustache. The stealth bomber, homie. I love that shit.
Wow, what a legend.
Kind of surprise, if you will. Slowing things right down once again. Trophies are in the hands now. We could be looking at that.
Okay. Bueno, dipping and diving IRL, getting out of there.
Yeah, and you're not going for G2 can't go for the play quite yet, but you are starting to run out of time. 45 seconds left on the game plan.
Yeah, who's on the pinch? Krem? You might have to activate, help these guys out. Get out! Get him out! Holy shit, bro! What the fuck is going on? Ew. Oh my god! It's pandemonium! What the fuck?
Oh, yo, what
And now it's a 1v2.
They probably don't even know where the fuck he went. They don't know who they killed.
Yeah, they don't even know who was shooting.
They don't know what the hell just happened.
Oh, get out. Oh my god, he guesses right.
Hey! Oh!
That would have been so dirty.
Yo, that's Ace for Dylan right there. They didn't know where he was.
That would have been so dirty.
Jim, yeah, look out.
Bro, they had no they were looking the other way. They did not know where he was.
Death per minute rates in hard.
Gets shut down, and it seems to be a matter of when, not a matter of if at this point. The Democrats, guess what? They are set to lose right around, not 1, not 2, not 3, 12. They are set to lose right around 12 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. Folks, that would be game over for the Democrats. If the Democrats lose 12, what happens? The Republicans gain 12. Every seat the Democrats lose, the Republicans gain. We've got 2 parties. Pretty much that's the way it works, outside of a handful of independents.
Dog, can I ask you a question?
Plus 12 for the Republicans, that's a 24-point gap. Good luck to the Democrats.
If you were to get, if somebody was to give you $50 million to squat 225, would you be able to do it, dog?
Would I be
Ass to
able
grass.
to? No. Would I be able to? No.
Their opinion
Would you try to?
Yeah.
awaiting to hear on
Yeah.
racial
Okay.
gerrymandering was
Of course.
mysteriously not
If you gave me
included.
4 out of 6, I'd
Ladies and gentlemen,
fucking
take a look at this.
still take that
Just in
chance.
this morning, no new ruling on the Voting Rights Act today and all of this racial gerrymandering. So the question
Dog, what
everyone's
if
asking
you
right now
hurt your
is,
back?
what's going on here? Why is the Supreme Court taking so long?
At least I have 50 mil to live with
release
my
this
my
opinion?
pain.
What is the holdup?
No, but like, say you fail the attempt, but you still hurt your back.
What's going on here? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we might have an answer.
I guess I've
Take a
looked.
listen to this.
Sean, what are you talking about the Supreme Court and this thing that's going to rock
Damn, dog.
the world, hopefully today?
What the heck is
So as
that
you remember,
today?
several months back, the court heard this Louisiana case on the Voting Rights Act, and by anyone's account, who's a court watcher, the court was very clearly in favor of the Louisiana case that they couldn't redistrict. They couldn't use the Voting Rights Act, that they're about to throw out that additional section that's part of it for pre-clearance and otherwise. So no one thought this was going to be a problem, right? It's either 6-3 or 5-4, but I don't think there's anybody that's watched that doesn't think it. The question that I started probing around and asking is why? Why are we not getting this decision? And here we are today, another day when we expected decisions and nothing. And the answer I got back from a very reliable source was the minority on the court is slow walking their dissent. Why does that matter? Well, until they put the dissent out there, the court can't issue the opinion. Why does that matter? Because as time ticks away, states are then limited in their ability to potentially redistrict. That will cost Republicans the opportunity to pick up seats. So right now, sure, maybe Louisiana picks up 1 seat, but states like Alabama and others, when I've confirmed this with several folks in the key states, especially southern states that abide by the Voting Rights Act, they're basically telling me, I'm sorry, the clock has run out. We don't have the time to do it for this cycle. Yes, we'll get it done for 2030 or 2028, but not in time for this midterm. This court knows what they're doing. The liberals on the court are intentionally slow walking the dissent so that it will not be issued in time for many Republican states to actually go in and redistrict based on the decision.
Do you have any idea from your reporting of the checking of what is like the hard, because there'll be enormous pressure, obviously, what's the hard out? DeSantis is calling a special session of because he's had a belly full of it, he's calling a special session of the Florida legislature, I think for the 28th of April on Tuesday, and we have a huge event on Sunday that Mo's going to be on. We're already sold out, but we're expanding the number of tickets for a thank you to the grassroots. Virginia's on Tuesday.
That's right.
Florida's coming later. What is the outdate, Sean, that you know that if the Supreme Court does it, the southern states can still do this? Because I think you're talking 8 or 9 seats, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah, well, Florida might still be able to pull it off. They've got a bigger problem with their state senate in coordination with DeSantis. But Louisiana will probably pick up 1 seat. I think Alabama's probably missed the boat for this cycle. And you start to go through, I think that might be it, Steve. I mean, Louisiana will jam through their 1. And then in my conversations with other states that would have the potential to use this ruling to redistrict, I don't know that another state that I've talked to is telling me that they will have it's possible, but right now many are telling me that it's too late based on their legislative calendar, and that's the key thing. If the court runs the clock out and many of these legislatures go out of session, they're screwed. And the court, the minority, the liberals on the court know exactly what they're doing.
Sean.
So there is some subversive behavior going on in the Supreme Court. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they mentioned Virginia and Florida, and we are going to talk about those specific cases, those redistricting initiatives today. But first, let's go ahead and add some extra information onto the table here so everybody's on the same page. The Supreme Court is set to release all of their opinions, their legal determinations, that is, by early July of 2026 this year at the latest. They've got to get everything out by early July 2026. A couple months ago. So what's happening here is that right this very moment, the liberal, the radically progressive justices on the Supreme Court are attempting to slow walk their determination on this racial gerrymandering aspect of the 1965 Voting Rights Act because they know that when this opinion gets released, it is going to be doomsday for the Democrats. Seriously, Now, the Democrats, the radical progressives, they're actually weaponizing the U.S. Supreme Court in a desperate last-ditch attempt to salvage the performance of the Democrat Party in the 2026 midterms.
Dog.
That is exactly what's going on here.
Oh.
Frankly, it's absolutely pathetic. It's disgusting.
I need some of your pain meds.
Again, like I said earlier, once this opinion gets released, pushed out the door from the Supreme Court, then
My back, dog.
are going to lose ultimately
They have to
up
figure
to
out what the
12
pain is for, and then
seats
you can
in
come
the
back.
U.S. House of Representatives.
The pain is for my back, dude. What do you want to know?
For the 2026 midterms?
What hurts?
Or if it's going to happen, it'll go into effect in 2028.
My lower back.
Okay?
Yeah,
when I bend.
Down the road, so
Like
to
what?
speak,
Or
for one
be
more election
specific.
cycle to try to maintain power in the House or to try to acquire.
Give me an example of what you mean when you say specific.
Is it a muscle, a bone?
But now, ladies and gentlemen,
How do I tell the difference?
speaking of redistricting, there's something else I want you to take a look at. On
It's
April
hard to
25th,
Nice!
hard to
4 days from
distinguish,
now,
man.
in Virginia, the Democrats are trying
Give me
to
the
pass
fucking
a
medication.
redistricting referendum that would give the Democrats another 4 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. But the polling for that referendum is right now looking incredibly close, and the Democrats are
You'd have to
panicking.
know why you're
Take a
feeling
look at this.
pain in
Virginia
order
is
to
a
know if those
blue state.
pills
They
would
just
even
elected
work.
Democrat governor. However, this referendum to steal 4 seats on a federal congressional level from the Republicans and pass them over to the Democrats.
Dog, just trust me, it'll work, dude. Just give me the fucking meds.
No, we want to stop this. We want to stop the Democrats from redistricting in this way. Vote no. Right now, yes is 51.2. No, which is what we want, is 46.9. So it is very, very close. Like I said, it is in fact so close that the Democrats, you're not going to believe this, they're getting desperate, they're panicking. They have decided to wheel out good old Barack Hussein Obama to try to help them win this referendum. Barack Obama himself, just earlier this morning, he said, he released a little video. He said, Virginia, if you haven't done it already, make a plan to vote yes on the redistricting referendum. You can vote early on April 18th, on Election Day, April 21st. Now, I'm going to do you a favor here. We're not going to play this 48-second video of Barack Obama. He's looking rough and tough these days. Not tough, he's looking rough. He's looking bad, a little bit haggard. But anyway, they are now wheeling out Barack Obama to try to compel people to go and vote to steal 4 congressional House seats from the Republicans in Virginia and pass them off to the Democrats. This is what desperation looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, they are scared. They are panicking. So, folks, just to be clear, like I said, the Democrats know that they are on the cusp right now of losing absolutely everything. And the reality is, they are. It is true. They are. But now, as all of this is happening, Governor Ron DeSantis down in Florida has actually done something very intelligent. Big credit to him. We got to give credit where it's due. Why? Why do I say this? Ladies and gentlemen, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has delayed Florida's special redistricting session. They're trying to do some redistricting on their own down in Florida. Ron DeSantis has delayed Florida's ongoing special redistricting session from April 20th. It was originally set for 1 day before Virginia's, all the way back 8 days to April 28th, after Virginia's redistricting referendum. Republicans, if this passes in Florida, are expected to pursue a new map that would add 2 or 3 GOP seats. So adding 2 or 3 to the U.S. House of Representatives. So, ladies and gentlemen, very smart. Ron DeSantis actually strategically delayed Florida State's redistricting effort, which would add up to 3 Republican seats to the House, because he didn't want to negatively influence the referendum in Virginia. You can imagine how if on April 20th, Florida passes a referendum adding 3 seats to the Republicans, that would maybe rally Democrat voters in Virginia, would piss them off. They'd say, we gotta vote. So DeSantis said, you know what? We're gonna wait till Virginia plays itself out. But folks, here's the big picture here. right now a massive legal battle, redistricting battle. It's in the Supreme Court, it's in Virginia, it's in Florida soon. This massive battle is currently unfolding between the Democrats and the Republicans. The fate of the Republic, frankly, hangs in the balance. And between you and me, personally, I think that the Republicans are going to end up winning this one. Thank God for that. I think personally, it's only a matter of time. And you know what? We need to win this battle because this is what it's going to take. We need to be winning battles like this if we truly want to put America first. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is the massive legal Supreme Court redistricting, racial gerrymandering dynamic that is currently unfolding across this country right now. There is a big update for you folks. Things are, I don't want to jinx anything. Cross my fingers, knock on wood. Things are tentatively looking pretty good, okay? And you know what, I'll tell you, even if the Supreme Court does not issue their opinion on this racial gerrymandering dynamic in time for it to have an impact on the 2026 midterms, here's the deal. We have a decent chance of maintaining control of the House anyway. We do, seriously. It's not a sure thing. You need to vote. We need to battle. It's a fight. The fight is ongoing. We cannot afford to get complacent. Need to vote in midterms. But we're not down and out. Okay, we're not. Some people think we are. We're not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have another massive story. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Really appreciate it a lot. You're not going to believe this one. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's favorite Republican House representative, a woman who goes by the name of Anna Paulina Luna, has just gone absolutely scorched earth on the rhinos in Congress, namely Senate Leader John Thune, all of whom are actively working against the Save America Act, trying to prevent the Save America Act from getting passed and really prevent the United States from having safe and secure elections. In fact, take a look at this. Anna Paulina Luna posted just this morning. At this point, Senate Leader Thune is hiding behind the Democrats to block the Save America Act. At the end of the day, he won't be able to blame the Democrats for his failure for this failure to get this passed. He is fully capable of making it happen now, yet he still refuses. It's getting old, she says. She goes on to say, John Thune is blocking voter ID. Point blank. She's just laying it out there, and you know what? She's right. Very clearly, Anna Paulina Luna has had enough of the political theatrics, of the virtue signaling, of the anti-American antics, and really of the excuses. I think we've all had enough, because that's not all. Just this morning, Anna Paulina Luna actually sat down for an interview during which she absolutely unloaded as it pertains to this entire subject. Take a listen.
Let's take that a step further. I mean, Republicans control the House and the Senate. Why can't they get the Save America Act, which requires evidence that you're an American and ID to vote?
John Thune is a problem. I do not like what he's done because he has every ability, and really it's him that's blocking voter ID. He has every ability to embrace the standing filibuster or remove the filibuster. Democrats are going to do it anyways, and by the way, the current form of the filibuster is a perversion of what it initially was.
Yep.
But there's this position in the Senate that people are, they need to protect the institution. I get protecting the institution, but like, let's also talk about what the institution's become.
Is John Thune weak?
I think John Thune is doing the wrong thing. I don't know if I would necessarily say weak because he's clearly stubborn. He's not doing voter ID. But he can't honestly blame the Democrats for this because he's the one in control.
Yep.
And so what I would say, and what I've continued to say, is it's John Thune blocking voter ID. I'm trying right now, we have FISA up for a vote this week. I'm trying to do everything I can to get voter ID onto FISA. But I'm having to work against my own party to do that. And I'm just one person, and it takes multiple votes to do that. Yes, FISA needs reform, but I think the number one most important issue in the country right now is voter ID. And if we can't deliver on that, then people like John Thune do not deserve to come back to Congress. Vote him out.
Ooh.
He's not up for re-election, but when it's time.
When it's time, if he can't push this thing across the finish line, vote him out. And you know what? I think a lot of us feel the same way. You know what? At this point, Anna Paulina Luna is not the only actual Republican in Congress who's had enough. Take a look at this. Senator in the Senate, Mike Lee, says this. Yesterday morning, he says, "I've seen enough. I've heard enough excuses. We cannot let the Democrats sabotage this country." He says, "If nuking the filibuster is the only way to deliver on wildly popular legislation like the Save America Act, then we need to nuke the filibuster and start passing bills." Absolutely true. You know what? There's something else I want you to take a look at, because he then went on to say this. He posted this video similarly yesterday afternoon. He says the status quo in the Senate doesn't work. We have exactly two choices. Either one, enforce the talking filibuster, or nuke the zombie filibuster. Let's see what he says.
For years, many have operated under the assumption that in order to get anything through the Senate, you have to have 60 votes. In many cases, that's effectively true, but it oversimplifies the issue, and it also ignores the fact that obstruction under the filibuster and the 60-vote cloture rule have grown so severe that we can't even get basic things done. Things like the funding of the Department of Homeland Security and the passage of the Save America Act, something that Americans overwhelmingly support. We're stuck. And when you're stuck, you got to try something new. And that's why I'm increasingly of the viewpoint that we've got exactly two choices. We can either start enforcing the talking filibuster, make them speak if they want it to be, or alternatively, we're going to have to nuke it. The status quo doesn't work. The American people deserve more. They demand something better. We've got to deliver it to them. Let's get it done.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point, everyone, all of us, have had enough of all of this anti-American rhino behavior. He most certainly has. Anna Paulina most certainly has. You either put America first or you get out of the way. Really, those are your two options here. In fact, I know more people feel similarly about this. Take a look at this. This is from the Katie Miller podcast. This is Stephen Miller's wife.
Do you think Congress should do more to ensure that only Americans vote in American elections?
100%, 10,000%.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the heck's going on in the United States Senate, but you know, Senate Republicans, they got to wake up. This is not 1978. It's not 1990. The Democrats are true radicals. Like, they are radicals. So we got to step up and do what's necessary.
Democrats started by saying voter ID was racist.
Yeah.
Now they're saying voter ID is sexist because they've lost the racist argument.
Yeah.
Do you believe that showing an ID to vote inhibits somebody from exercising their right to vote?
No, not at all. You got to show it to get on a plane. You got to show it to get
Buy
beer,
alcohol.
buy alcohol, buy a house, sign a lease. Like, you have to do it to do all those things. I don't listen to the Democrat arguments anymore because they're stupid, and they assume that the American people are dumb and ignorant and can't think for themselves. And I think that's what's really disheartening about their party right now.
And barely any actual, authentic, legitimate American citizens want anything to do with the Democrat Party. This is why the Democrats have dug their heels in so much. We love illegal aliens. We need to open up the border, bring in more illegal aliens, give them free welfare, free housing, loans, government grants, whatever, taxpayer-funded services. We also need to allow them to vote because the Democrats know that if not for their illegal aliens, they've got no one supporting them. Does anybody here know an actual American, legitimate, patriotic American citizen who supports the Democrats these days? No. Their entire base, it's built upon fraud. It's built upon people that shouldn't even be here. All of that. You know, there's something else that I want all of you to take.
Holy
Because during
fuck.
her interview this morning, Representative Anna Paulina Luna also said something very curious that I think all of you are going to enjoy. Take a look at this.
Do other House members have skeletons in their closets?
Yes.
How many?
I'd say right now there's probably about two House members, likely one senator. But I think that this right now is freaking a lot of people out. And also I think this is kind of something that we've been pushing forward, but we wanted to release the Congressional Slush Fund.
Is this the beginning of a major purge on Capitol Hill?
I think so.
How many members are we talking about?
Well, as of right now, there's probably 3 between the House and the Senate.
3, but there could be more.
There could be more, yeah. There's always rumors, but rumors aren't always true. It's what's in evidence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about members of Congress both in the House and in the Senate getting exposed, getting purged. We've already seen 2 of them, one Republican and one Democrat. Swalwell was the Democrat. You know what? Between you and me, maybe this is exactly what Congress needs. A purge of sorts, as she says. Out with the old, all of the old America Last Republicans. In with the new America First Republicans. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's our Save America Act update, our Rhino update, the State of Congress update. People are fed up, and you know what? It's almost time to vote here. We've got midterms in what, 6 months? 6.5 months, something like that. All of these America Last Republicans, all these Democrats, they better be sweating bullets right now because we want to replace them. A lot of us want to replace them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we're going to broaden our scope here today and talk about not just some domestic issues, but now let's move on and talk about some global issues, some geopolitical issues. Before we do, we have massive news here today. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you all for being here on a Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has just called the Iranian regime's final bluff. It's all they had left. Now, completely stripping away any ounce of leverage from the Iranian regime that they still had. Now they have nothing. You see, since entering this ceasefire with the Iranian regime has been saying that they're unwilling to reopen the Strait of Hormuz because there was still some fighting taking place over in Lebanon. Well, this absolutely had nothing to do with the original terms of this ceasefire. We know that for a fact. And in all likelihood, the Iranian regime concocted this narrative, well, you need to stop fighting in Lebanon in order to try to renege, to go back on their half of the ceasefire agreement. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? President Trump has just done the impossible. President Trump this morning just convinced Israel and Hezbollah operating inside of Lebanon to stop fighting. Meaning that now the Iranian regime has absolutely zero excuse to not capitulate to President Trump's demands and move forward with the deal-making process. And by the way, capitulate they did. Ladies and gentlemen, let's break it on down. First off, breaking news, Iran officially reopens the Strait of Hormuz this morning for every single commercial vessel for the remaining period of this ceasefire. Iran's statement below, coming from the president of Iran. He said, and I quote, "In line with the ceasefire in Lebanon that Trump just negotiated, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remainder of the ceasefire on the coordinated route as already announced by Ports and Maritime Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran." What's more, President Trump followed up by saying this, "Iran has just announced that the Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for passage. Thank you," he says. He goes on to say, the Strait of Hormuz is now completely open and ready for business and full passage. But the naval blockade will remain, the U.S. naval blockade, will remain in full force and effect as it pertains.
I'll be back.
All right.
test in this studio.
How about one of the best sitting in this chair?
Yeah. You're considered one of the best guitarists.
Were you on the service yourself? Yeah, you don't need to spend 300. What pitches did you throw to get?
We're saying goodbye. This dog is fast, highly intelligent, and used by military and police forces around the world. It has strong protective instincts and unmatched work drive. With proper training, it becomes extremely loyal and reliable. Number 4, Rottweiler. Powerful, confident, and naturally protective, the Rottweiler is known for guarding families and property. It stays calm but reacts quickly when it senses danger. Early training makes it both safe and dependable. Number 8, German Shepherd. One of the most popular protection dogs in the USA, the German Shepherd is smart, obedient, and fearless. It bonds closely with its owner and is widely used in law enforcement for a reason. Number 2, Doberman Pinscher. Fast, alert, and highly loyal, the Doberman is built for protection. It has a strong presence and reacts quickly to threats while staying controlled with proper training. Number 1, Tan Corso.
Hearing hacks.
Biggest regret in your service. What speed now?
At the time the rocket delivered the capsule to low space sector.
Well, that's one hell of a spin too. Okay. My biggest regret was serving in the Vietnam.
He hadn't had a haircut in 2 years, and his interview was at 8 tomorrow.
Next question.
Fucking piece of shit, dude.
This is like crazy. What's scary? Scary? I mean, let's just check out. It's like a stone. Crazy.
This negative 20 IQ roid rhino thinks he owns the gym.
I never saw weights like this before. Even like one side, I can fit. How you're so strong? How I can do the same weight? 20 years, brilliant.
Stop lying, dude. It's because of the cocktail you shoot up that made your hair run away.
20 years? Yeah. I need 20 years to do like same? Yeah. Maybe I will live like tomorrow this weight or not? Never? Tomorrow maybe today I can live. Today. Not today, just today like
Buddy is about to have his existence rocked.
I will just try one more time. I don't know. Just one more time I will try. Oh, like this might not.
I can read minds. He's thinking whether the jab in his butt was even worth it.
Comfortable. Is it like...
Get out! This is a high-end hotel, not a place for...
I used to think products like this were just for show until
5 animals that are way bigger than they should be.
So, which one of you is Kalashnikov?
Here.
Well then, how about showing us your invention?
So you pull the bolt back in order to load it. Now there's a round in the chamber. Single fire, and this is automatic.
How many rounds is it?
In the magazine there are 14. Goes in like this, comes out like that.
Let's put it to the test. Binoculars. Kalashnikov, you need to
Work on your appearance, sir. Is that your old uniform?
I didn't have time to change, sir.
I want you to tell them they have an order to equip you with a new one. You'll be showing your prototype at the All-Union Weapons Design Contest. I'll be...
Ex-actress Madeline Klein, reportedly with 59,900 votes. Coming in 7th is, of course, the actress who played Hermione in
Professional cleaners have been gatekeeping this for years. The tool they use behind closed doors just leaked to the public, and they're furious.
Well, she's back. You want to take her for a ride around the block again? I'm still always, seem to be always working on this stuff. So, at least I could go around the block. Like a little bit of oil get to it.
Doggy there.
To Iran only until such a time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. This process should go very quick.
Or rejecting it. That's fine. But that's not what's going on. It's much more than that. There's the idea of, Trump is crazy, he's insane, he's radically shifted course, he's radically shifted ideology. That's counter-signaling. That's not criticizing for a position. If you want to criticize Trump on Iran, I think that's totally legitimate. But that's not where it stops. It's like, for some reason, if you criticize him on this, you have to stop all support for the guy, and in no way, shape, or form has he ever done anything right. He's always been a fucking piece of shit, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, that's, again, way too far for me to go. Former roughneck here, it's not all about drilling. It's about refracking, going into old holes and doing spiderweb packages. It's also about refining, right? Also amping up production by agitating the well. We appreciate that.
Yeah, now, so he's hearing that all day. He's got Christians and evangelicals coming in there telling him he's protected by God.
He hasn't radically changed course. He has not radically changed course, no. If you dive into how much Trump has pushed in this administration towards many of the goals that were laid out by his administration from the beginning, most of that he's stayed right on course with that.
Telling him he's got the armor of God and people praying over him. And, who knows what goes on with Paula White and the rest of them. So he's got all of this in his ear 24/7. He's already got a big ego. So Trump posts, when the dirty cop James Comey, the failed head of the FBI, went after me, he was using FISA Title I, the domestic collection, not FISA 702, the foreign collection, which needs to be extended today. While parts of FISA were illegally and unfortunately used against me in the Democrats' disgraceful witch hunt and attack in the Russia hoax, and perhaps would be used against me in the future, I am willing to risk the giving up of my rights and privileges as a citizen for our great military and country. Now, the new argument is like the old argument. And this just shows how Twilight Zone the whole thing is now. The new argument is the old argument. Trump's posts are too much. So you're going back to 2015. You're going back to 2016 when people used to have a big fuss about what Trump was posting on social media. And it's kind of become a news story. The old is new again.
Thanks for the raid, Cool One, and the 10 memberships. I appreciate it. Very kind of you.
So maybe you have a debate. Are you thinking too much about the posts? Are you thinking too much about Trump posting himself as Dr. Jesus? Are you thinking too much about Trump posting he's going to annihilate an entire civilization? Are you thinking too...
See, that sounded the most Trump-esque shit that I've ever heard. These people were not freaking out about any of the fucking shit that Trump was saying in his first time around. And some of it was way worse than that. Well, I'm going to annihilate the whole... yeah, Trump has always talked like that. Not one step back. Appreciate that for 5. In fact, I went back through and categorized a bunch of stuff from when Trump ran the first time and the shit that he said, online the first go around. And some of it was way fucking worse than this.
Too much about it? Are you thinking just the right amount about it because he's the president? These things concern you? Well, maybe there's room for debate. I look at this. You can see it highlighted here. I am willing to risk the giving up of my rights and privileges as a citizen. That is an exact quote from the president. So I don't know if there's debate here. I feel that this is a fair time. I don't know if you want to say panic, but I mean, the president of the United States just said he's willing to risk the giving up of his rights and privileges as a citizen. He said that. And he's saying it in support of a bill that he once campaigned against. So he goes on, our military patriots desperately need FISA 702, and it's one of the reasons we have had such tremendous success on the battlefield. I thought that was Israel's intelligence. Oh, so, whoa, okay. Or is that part of this deal? I've spoken with many in our military who say FISA is necessary in order to protect our troops overseas, as well as our people here at home, from the threat of foreign terror attacks. Boy, none of this was supposed to be happening, though, right? I mean, Trump administration 2.0, none of this was supposed to be happening. We weren't supposed to be thinking about any of this stuff. We were supposed to be winning. No, here we are talking about, we're back in war. Yeah, maybe terror attacks.
Where? Where are all the terror? Where are they? He's always been bombastic about what he says. Always.
It has already prevented many such attacks, and it is very important that it remain in full force and effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Whoa. Now, I've been saying for a long time that Trump is not a romantic of the Bill of Rights or the Constitution.
And so here's where a big delineation comes in. And this is why I keep saying that there's an ideological distinction between myself and Schroyer. Schroyer is an adherent constitutionalist libertarian. I am not. I don't think about rights in the same way that he thinks about rights, and I don't think about individualism the same way that these guys think about individualism. I don't think in terms philosophically of rights being a thing which are ontological to human beings, but rather that dignity is. There's the distinction. All of this comes from the various progressive styles of philosophy which were introduced at our founding and onwards. The Constitution today does not resemble anything like the Constitution that our founders had in mind. Nothing. Not least of which the 10th Amendment and how states prospectively could deal with religion, how they could deal with economy, how they could deal with interstate commerce, everything. So this is where you start to begin to see the delineation in worldview.
He essentially told us that during the CBS interview a couple months ago. He pretty much let the cat out of the bag then. It's like, yeah, I don't really care. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution.
Oh, and criticizing policy and war isn't backstabbing. That's absurd. Who said it was?
Not really something I'm concerned with. So now he comes out, he even talks about it at a personal level. He says
I don't think this is going to go how you think it will, Andrew. I think it's going to go exactly how I think it will. Okay. You see, okay, I'm really fucking good at what I do. Really good at it. And creating predictive models for how people are going to argue is based around their worldview and their knowledge base. So I almost always know exactly what they're going to say before they say it. Basically always. Oh, can you rewind the stream? Hang on. I gotta take care of that real quick. That's why it's good to have Mr. E around. He sets all that shit up. One second. One second, hang on. What is going on here? One second here, guys. One sec. I heard that last time. What was it that I got into a debate with? What's the name? The dude with the Charlie Kirk stuff. This isn't going to go how you think it is, Andrew. Yeah, it went exactly how I thought it would. You're trying to teach people to turn unreasonable passion into debatable logic, turning emotional ignorance into logical truth. God bless you, Andrew. That's what I tried to do. I don't think it's going to go the way you think, says some guy who doesn't have a functioning pattern recognition chip installation. But what about a Griffith's trilemma? Yeah. Find this stupid ass setting real quick. What was that? Where's the stupid setting? Where is it? Where is it? Not there. Not there. Not there. Okay, whatever. I guess you can just rewind it then. I don't fucking care. It's always Mr. E's thing anyway. Let's get back to this.
Is okay with giving up his rights and privileges. He's willing to take that risk as a personal thing. So he's not romantic about this country, you could even say, in that regard. If you don't view the Bill of Rights as a venerable object, a cornerstone of our country, if not the very support beam it stands on, I don't really know what else to say other than you must not care much about this country.
That's always been liberal ideology. That's foundationally progressive ideology. If you don't believe in the Bill of Rights, this is a doctrine, a very progressive doctrine, by the way, laid down from progressive philosophy, which is talking about the inherent nature of rights, then you must not like the country very much. But even our founders viewed rights completely differently than how the modern progressive view of rights is. It will be like that debate you had with the bimbo blonde libertarian from whatever podcast, the one that talked about God-given rights. Yeah, true.
I don't know how else to interpret that. So you'll get the same people defending Trump, saying you're just freaking out about a social media post. You know what? If it was just the social media posts, then maybe we wouldn't have a problem. If he was just posting on social media and then there were no real world consequences or real world risks or developments off of these posts, then maybe I wouldn't think too much about it. But no, these posts have pretty heavy weight to them. Now, you can get into the details of FISA, and maybe this debate will be had too. You can get into the details of FISA. Trump saying, we need this to spy on foreigners, whatever. Okay. But isn't that kind of avoiding the issue here? Isn't this like a...
What's the issue here?
A larger issue thing, and it's kind of like a directional thing? And we're saying, we know we're being illegally spied on. We're sick of it. We know FISA is part of this apparatus. We also know foreign intelligence agencies are part of this operation. We're sick of all of it. We don't want any of it. And we do have a Bill of Rights that it is in violation of. We do have that as well. So it is illegal.
Illegal. Illegal, huh? By GOP standards, 10 years ago, Trump is doing amazing. The only way to say he is bad is judging against the hope he gave us in the first place. Yeah, well, I think that, Schroyer's strategy is just going to be the same as the progressive strategy. Here's all of Trump's promises. He hasn't fulfilled enough of them. Therefore, I don't think he was very successful. It's just, that's the way he's likely going to argue this. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
So it is illegal, and most of us are not willing to take that risk. But the president is, and now he's supporting bills that do. How do you walk your way out of that?
Yeah, the law is illegal.
You can't say, I thought I was a doctor. How do you... I didn't know I had rights and privileges. I didn't know there was a right to privacy in this country. How do you walk out of this one? But just in case you needed reminding, almost to the exact...
And just so you're aware, chat, I like Schroyer. I like him personally, and I like his views on many things. I don't have any issues with this guy. I called him when we were setting the debate up and told him, look, I want to have a good-spirited and even brutal debate, but it's not personal. I have a worldview that I'm going to defend, and so do you. And he was like, yeah, I agree. There's no animosity here. This is a debate research stream. That's all it is. But I'm not here dunking on Schroyer. If I wanted to burn the Constitution and install a monarch, wouldn't that mean I don't care about this country? How do you tie the two together outside of preference and or presentism? Well, you can't.
Day, a year ago, Trump said, kill FISA. This is part of his campaign to kill FISA. But now he's okay with it, guys. Now he's okay with it because we got a war going on. from the No New Wars Peace president. That's also not a war.
Progressive talking point.
And now we also have domestic terror issues because we can't do the mass deportations. And I guess our agencies are really just busy doing other things right now.
Owen isn't a debater. This means nothing. There's nobody that I'm afraid to take on this topic, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. If he's a Christian, wouldn't he think we're always being illegally spied on by God by his logic? I don't think that's a great argument.
It's hard to keep track. So, but no, that wasn't enough. I guess for Trump, he really enjoyed that picture of him as Jesus, Dr. Jesus.
Have you ever visited Israel? If not, will you consider it? No. No. I'm not going to go kiss your fucking wall, bro. Sorry. I have zero intention. Sorry. I think you might have me twisted up. I think you need to learn what my views are on Christian Zionism being quite possibly one of the most dangerous ideologies in existence today.
Dr. Jesus, actually. Trump really enjoyed the Dr. Jesus image, and it really hurt him that he had to delete that. It really hurt his feelings. It really kind of damaged his ego a little bit. He liked seeing that, and he kind of sees himself that way, by the way. That's kind of how Trump views himself in his own mind. So for him to erase that was kind of a personal thing. He didn't really, I think it dinged him a little. So he had to find a way to redeem himself.
Stop spamming my fucking chat, you stupid fuck. Catholic is cool. Just ban the fucking guy. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiot. Don't spam my fucking chat. Drives me nuts. You're just going to get banned instantly.
He had to find a way to get close to Jesus again. And, of course, not getting on his knees and praying or the crucifix or praying the rosary or anything like that. That's all unfamiliar. Instead, he posted an image of him.
Why won't you debate yet? Because I've had a fucking long-standing look. I know how that community goes when you fucking do a debate. No fucking way. I've had a long-standing truce with that guy for years, and it's going to stay that way.
Being hugged by Jesus. There it is. Oh, and Trump is now, I addressed this a long time ago. Trump says the radical left lunatics might not like this, but I think it is quite nice. All right, that's good. It's very nice. And you look very, very handsome in the...
Owens is definitely a debater, just not in the way Andrew or Dyer is. His style is more akin to Tim Pool, using normal debate versus normative. I agree. Principal Skinner, thank you for 20. I don't think Schroeder's a bad debater. I don't know where that came from. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And he has the easier position. The critic always has the easier position than the defender. Always. Every single time.
In the AI picture there, Mr. President, I'm glad that satisfies you. I'm glad that appeases you. We certainly wouldn't want anything other than that, because who knows what could happen. So I warned about this. I don't even know how long ago it was. Some of you will recall. I said, imagine you're Trump, and every day people are coming to you telling you that you're the Messiah. You've got Jews coming to you talking about how you're saving Israel, you're saving the Jews, you're a hero to the Jews, you're like the Jewish Messiah now. So he's hearing that all day.
Wasn't he just in that talking point earlier? Going back over the same talking point. Does he fancy himself as Rush Limbaugh with a golden mic? I don't know. I think that there's a story behind the golden mic, but I'm not sure what it is. Wouldn't you want to visit Bethlehem? No, I don't want to go to fucking Israel, dude. Sorry, I don't want to. Gimme. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Christians and evangelicals coming in there telling him he's protected by God, telling him he's got the armor of God, and people praying over him. And I mean, who knows what goes on with Paula White and the rest of them. So he's got all of this in his ear 24/7. He's already got a big ego.
Okay. I don't feel like we broke any ground there at all. Maybe he has a Trump debate instead. What quote from Charlie stays with you, Andrew? What quote? I don't know that he has a quote that stays with me. I don't know. I didn't think that Kirk was the. I didn't think he was the best orator, honestly, or the best debater. I thought he was a good organizer, good ground organizer. But Kirk, I mean, Charlie Kirk's podcast was fucking boring. Let's be real, and it still is boring. DPUSA is fucking boring. They're just boring. It's always boring ass fucking content. They pick the lamest fucking people to do content. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. And Erica Kirk, also not a great orator. Not very good at all. At all. Not even a little bit. Yeah, TPUSA has always been a feminist organization. He was a good debater. He was good. He was okay. But he was a talking points debater. Charlie Kirk was good at doing what many of the streamers do. They take a political fact and then they argue their vibes about it. Do you agree this is a fact? Yes. Do you agree this is a fact? Yes. Okay, now let's argue about how we feel about it. That should make you feel bad. No, it shouldn't. It should make you feel bad. That to me is the lowest tier of political debate. Mr. Wilson, I salute you and Rachel for doing the Lord's work and these libtard atheists and feminists. Also, you see the latest Brian Shapiro Spurg video? No. I seem to have the whole internet seething at me these days. I must be doing something right. How long ago was this? So this is 3 months ago. So let's see how it was pre-Iran. Let's see what the criticisms were then.
Joining me now, friend of the show at Legendary Energy on X last night. And then I think from there, we'll talk about the reaction to it. But what was your interpretation and your response to watching and hearing Trump speak last night?
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even watch it. I was kind of watching the reaction to it, and it seemed like he just rolled all his true.
It's annoying when people try to drum anonymity between you and Nick F. Yeah, it's very typical. It's been going on for years.
Like posts into a speech. But yeah, I didn't even listen to it, to be honest.
So let's talk reaction then. We can jump right into reaction. Honestly, you didn't mitch much. It was mostly copy and paste from, his last 20 speeches. And then they announced a 1776 bonus for the military, which actually I'm finding out was kind of a lie. They actually already had that cooked into the books. They already cooked that into the budget with the omnibus bill. So it wasn't even a new thing. So he even kind of lied about that too.
Yeah, I was just watching.
Hate to say it, Andrew, but you're wrong about Candace Owen. I'm not. She's a libertarian. She's a progressive in disguise. She had a doxing website, which was designed specifically to dox conservatives, by the way. She worked for the Daily Wire. She did the entire progressive tour. She's completely untrustworthy. By every metric, she's untrustworthy. You people you believe anything that chick says, you're fucking just as dumb as she is, because that is a dumb woman.
In a few clips and the reactions and stuff, but once I saw the people that I trust and the people that seem like they tell the most truth, saying it seemed like recycled, the same things he was saying, I was like, I'll spare 30 minutes. I'll just watch some UFC podcast or something.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. Here's where I'm watching this, and I kind of saw this for years. And you've always been able to kind of split the difference. You've always been able to split the difference here. But what I noticed, it's like, I'm somebody that's been on the right. I think it would be fair to say, especially with my support for Trump since 2015. I don't like being put in a box, but okay, you can say I've been on the right, and politically I probably am.
But I remember we would sit here, whether it was the Obama years or the Biden years, and we'd watch these speeches from Obama, from Biden, or even a Gavin Newsom, and we'd see the left respond to it, and we'd be like, wait a second, did we even watch the same video? Like, this is weird. It's like we didn't even watch the same video. Now that's happening on the right, and last night was the big moment where you had all the MAGA cheerleaders and sycophants talking about how great it was. Oh my gosh, they're overwhelmed. And then meanwhile, I'm watching this like, wait a second, what did you see? Do we even live in the same world?
Right. I saw two responses back to back in my feed, and I thought it was so perfect. It was two Daily Wire employees. One of them was Michael Knowles, and he was like, "It was such a brilliant move from Trump to beat the media or whatever." And then Matt Walsh tweeted out,
So these guys were talking shit about Trump before Iran ever happened. What is the date of this? What is the date? Eventually, we'll get to whatever the real issue is. The real issue isn't Iran. If this is 3 months ago. What is the official date? Yeah, this is all pre-conflict.
that was one of the most pointless press conferences I've ever seen in my life. So I was like, I trust Matt a lot more than Michael Knowles as far as like, him saying it was pointless. And yeah, at this point, I think it's like the Trump butt sniffers versus people who are being honest. And even putting like Andrew Jackson, he put his name in the plaque of Andrew Jackson, and people are freaking out on my Facebook where they're way more pro-Trump. And they're like, anomaly, why does it matter? And I'm like, do you not see how ridiculous it is for a president like hundreds of years old to insert your own name in a paragraph about them? Like, you weren't even alive on this earth when they were serving. He can't even talk about Andrew Jackson without putting himself in there. He's like ridiculous now. It's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad. Like, it depends.
It's mostly just funny.
That's how you look at it.
Well, it might be funny if we weren't 40 trillion in debt. It might be funny if our military wasn't being used to secure oil deals for oil companies. It might be funny if we aren't giving billions of dollars to foreign countries where millions of people are dying because of it. Then it might be funny. Then it might be funny if Americans weren't broke and struggling. But all of those things are true, and so it's not so funny. And it's really.
This sounds no different to me than a Brian Shapiro rant. Yeah, Trump might be funny. You think he's funny, Andrew? Yeah, I think he's hilarious. It might be funny if Americans weren't struggling at the grocery store, Andrew. It might be funny if our debt wasn't this high, Andrew. It might be funny if he wasn't giving his crony at the oil company a bunch of kickbacks, Andrew. Sounds like literally exactly the same as Brian Shapiro right this second. That's what this sounds like to me.
Really becoming this vanity project. And I'm sitting here and I look at those plaques, and isn't it the same thing too? You bring it up. It's like, I see this. They're like, oh my gosh, Trump butt sniffers. That's a good one. I don't know. That one might hit them a little too close to home. But
yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, look at the plaques. Oh, this is so great. And I'm just like, what are you, why? What is so great about that? Tell me what these plaques accomplish.
No, for sure. And I think that, little thing he had where he brought Miriam Adelson on the stage and he was saying that he took $250 billion, and that sort of him talking about the Israeli lobby. And I'm just going to quote Trump, because obviously like me or you can't say this. It's like terrible anti-Semitism when we say it, but Trump said it. So I'm going to quote him. He called it the Jewish lobby. And to me, that was the big story of the week, him admitting that the Israeli lobby is powerful when I was told it doesn't exist and I'm an anti-Semite. Like that.
By who? Who the hell's ever said the Israeli lobby doesn't exist? Start listening to people bring up the national debt when they never talk about cutting off entitlements at all, as if the defense budget is bad. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you exactly. Entitlements is where the bulk of the spending is. It's true, we spend a lot on defense, too. I think that's number two. Well, I know it is. It's number two in comparison to entitlements. But nobody dares go after the entitlements. I'm sure Schroyer would be all about that, though. I'm sure, I think he probably would be after going after the entitlements.
To me, supersedes like a Gunther Eagleman or a Cat Turd. Like, this is the greatest speech I've ever heard, coach. It's like, get in the ball game, champ. You're a sport. I don't know. These people, the reason I laugh is because, I don't know, it feels like the same story on loop. So I almost become part of it if I don't at least try to find some humor in it, because I think the tragedy of it's obvious. And It's almost
Sounds like they grant things and there's no justification. It just sounds arbitrary. It also sounds like Tim Pool just saying things. That's what's going on. They're taking a political fact, and they're telling you how they feel about it. So that's what's going on, right? There's incredible debt. Well, that's bad, right? That's bad. He's doing this. That's bad. He's doing that. That's also bad. They're just taking a political fact and they're vibing. These fucking people without oil were done, dead. He might need to look up how many products and technologies exist due to crude and gas. The libertarian mindset never makes any sense, bro. Now, people like Schroyer and other mainstream Republicans are using woke right just because some methods may appear similar, regardless of arguments and reasoning. Like Schroyer and other are using woke right. Does he say woke right? Really?
like these people never change, but a lot of people are waking up, and I'm sure you see it as well. So that's okay.
Well, there's no doubt that this administration is spurring an awakening in a very unorthodox way. In fact, it's so heavy to me that I'm just sitting here wondering, because I like to look at all the different angles and ask all the questions. And that's why I say anybody that tells you not to ask questions doesn't want you to be knowledgeable, doesn't want you to be informed, doesn't want you to expand your consciousness, really wants you to be enslaved, quite frankly. So you always got to ask questions, even the ones you don't like the answers to, even the questions you don't like. And I'm just like,
that's another thing I've never understood on this particular issue. Who the fuck is ever saying not to ask questions? Who? I hear this all the time. You know, anybody telling you not to ask questions who the fuck ever says that? I've actually not heard anybody who's like, you need to stop asking questions. Who the fuck who says that shit? Like a bizarre straw man that they make up to argue against for their position. I'm just asking questions and people want me to stop asking questions. And I'm like, oh, who wants you to stop asking questions? Go ask all the fucking questions you want. I don't fucking care.
like, dude, this thing is so over the top now. I almost can't believe it's not intentional. I'm like, how could Trump possibly expose the Israeli lobby more than he has? It's like if he actually tried to do it, I don't know how he could do it better than the way he's done it. It's like I'm just like, this has to be intentional. It's that bad.
I want to bring up two options because I talked
not just the Israeli lobby. There's a whole lot of foreign lobbies that people are taking a look at finally, which is good. You should look at all of them, including AIPAC. Including this idea in AIPAC that this is a organization which only takes domestic funds. It's like, I think that maybe look at that a little closer.
About it in my live stream yesterday, and I'm not giving Trump a pass. You know, me and you were very, critical of Trump. But there's two options. Either he's so into it that he just doesn't even notice he's doing it, like he thinks he's bragging about it, or it really could, like you said, kind of be an intentional cry for help. Because when he talked about Sheldon Adelson, he was saying how aggressive he was at the White House, and I think he said something like, he really cared about Israel. That's all he really cared about. And like it almost kind of seems like a, hey guys, this is what's really going on. But the only way I could tell you is if I like make a joke out about it. I'm like, you're the best, and this is all she cares about. They only care about this. I swear, guys. So yeah, like maybe Trump really is a genius, and he's helping us.
You remember when you were like raping me in bed last night? You remember that, guys? Guys, he was raping me in bed last night.
I mean, anything is definitely possible, but it's hard to tell.
Stick to cultural issues where you can shine. You're mostly ignorant when it comes to geopolitics, and your line of argumentation reflects it. We'll see. We'll see. I generally do great when it comes to geopolitical issues, and I have a great track record with them too, like I did in Venezuela. I'll give you my assessment right now. Judging from the qualitative message that I'm assessing so far from Owen Schroyer, he can't beat me in a million years. It's not even going to be. It's not a possibility for him. Happy chill stream, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that DPG thing. Very kind of you.
With Trump, that's what makes him such an interesting character. Like whether you love him or hate him, he's like, he really is a fascinating like human being. Even putting his name in an Andrew Jackson statue, it's ridiculous, it's obnoxious, but it's like who else would do that? Like Trump really is a one of one. He's like a cartoon character.
I actually am Andrew Jackson. There was no Andrew Jackson. It was me. I was leading the Trail of Tears. That was my idea. Well, he seems to he seems to be into this new vanity at the White House. I've never seen anything like it. It's worse than Obama, where it's just like label everything Trump. You got Trump RX, you got Trump Ballroom, you got the Trump Center now, you got a Trump coin, a Trump watch, a Trump shoe, and it's always been his branding thing. And he's always been consistent. He likes to keep his people guessing and kind of chaotic. He's always operated in that environment. I just feel like it's kind of like what you said. It almost feels like it's gotten to his head to such a degree that he can't. I don't know if it's a gatekeeping issue or it's just he's so high on the supply right now that he's just completely out of touch with his base.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trump is the type of person that if you challenge him, you can't.
Love you lots, but do more research on APAC. They're an American lobby and only donated around 65 million since conception. No, I don't even understand. Why are you arguing against a position that I didn't state? Can you explain that to me? I'm pretty careful with language. What I stated is that APAC should be looked at as for more ties than just being a domestic organization, which is how they portray themselves. That's what I said. What does that have to do with how much money they donated? Here's if they donated $1 million. The point is that foreign lobbies or domestic lobbies like CARE, for instance, wouldn't you say that CARE should be looked at closely or foreign ties, that would be something that we ought to do immediately? I don't know where you get the idea that I said anything about how much they donated or why even make that argument. It has nothing to do with what I said. Obama could have hit the country with a 100 gigaton bomb, and these people would still give him a pass. What the fuck?
Can't work for him. So he's definitely surrounded himself by people who, are just yes men. I did a video on Dan Bongino today because he's leaving the FBI, and I was going through old clips, and Dan said
this is back when Bongino is leaving the FBI.
Getting the vaccine was one of the worst mistakes he's made. He regrets it, and his logic behind it was that the vaccine's American, and he thought the virus was China, so like America versus China. And I was like, wow, that's really dumb. But then I saw him interview Trump, and he was like, my friend told me, make sure you get credit for the vaccine, not Biden. And I'm like, dude, you said it was the biggest regret of your life. Like, why wouldn't you in an interview with Trump be like, hey, I'm not as big of a fan of the product as you are? But that's the type, like, these people say getting that was the worst decision of their life. They feel like it affected them negatively. Yet when they talk to him, they're like, sir, yes, sir. It's like everybody acts like dogs. They act like dogs for Trump, and then Trump and his administration acts like dogs, for the lobby that must not be named, that doesn't exist, but also does exist, so.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And you bring that up, it kind of brings me back to this point now, because obviously I was way more ingrained and invested in MAGA than you were. So for me to go against the grain now, it's a totally different process than for you, who's been a little more consistent as far as that. I posted this video. This was 2 days ago, but I also did a video 2 weeks ago, and I think it was actually 2 months ago after Charlie got shot, where I had somebody that was like, yeah, Bongino was planning to leave, and then Charlie got shot, and he said, okay, I have to stick around for this investigation. And then it was 2 weeks ago, somebody said, okay, get ready. The announcement is coming. And then 2 days ago, I had another source tell me it's a done deal. It's over. So I posted this. This was December 16th. And I think actually the show was from the 15th. I posted this on the 16th. Owen Schroyer discusses Dan Bongino's likely resignation from the Trump administration. And you look at the MAGA responses to this, and it's, you're a liar, you're fake news, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If I doubted my sources, I wouldn't be telling you this, but that's fair. All right, you want to attack me? And it's just like, and then here we are, and I was totally proven right. And it wasn't me. I just have sources. I just had good sources that told me that I trust. And I end up being right. And it's just like, why do these people, that's what's so crazy about it to me. It's like, now MAGA is attacking the truth tellers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've seen it for years because during the lockdown, a lot of Q people thought the lockdown was a good thing. Because I remember being like, wait, this is not good. But the whole Q, even though there was a lot of truth sprinkled in, it was kind of like Trump's the good guy. Martial law's the time when he's going to arrest the pedos. So when the lockdown
All the
happened,
arrests were going down. Yeah, well, that didn't work out, huh?
Nobody ever believed that. Rational people who voted for Trump never believed that he was going to institute martial law to arrest pedos. Fucking nobody. That was weirdo QAnon nonsense bullshit.
yeah, so they were bugging out at me for like 2 months in the craziest manner, like during the lockdown, where I'm like, yo, this is bad news, guys. And they're like, if you report against it.
Andrew, the trigonometry episode just dropped. Did it? I'll take a look. Oh, yeah, it did. An honest conversation with a Christian nationalist, what they called it. Did drop. Look at this.
Is dominance by one group over everybody else because we've got a better view, right?
Yeah.
You would outlaw homosexuality.
Sure. Well,
Okay.
I would outlaw homosexual marriage.
But not but isn't homosexuality wrong also?
Sure, it's immoral.
So
but
why wouldn't you outlaw?
You don't need to necessarily always place a law in against something which is immoral. I don't even understand what the purpose is of the vote for women. What is it? What is the point here?
Because it affects them as much as it affects us.
I've never seen a great reason why women should be able to vote. Because they can vote to send men to war that they themselves do not have to go fight. Why do women get exempt from that? If you want me to be blunt...
why do you hate leftists?
They're psychopaths who are going to destroy everything that I care about through suicidal empathy.
Well, Andrew Wilson, welcome to Trigonometry.
Man, I sound fucking awesome. Sounded awesome there. Look at that shit. Would you look at that shit? Would you look at it? Yeah, so that just dropped. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. Back to this.
That you're getting in the way, and I was like, holy crap, these people are cooked. And then it was like Operation Warp Speed was secretly a good thing. I've heard it for so long, I guess it doesn't shock me anymore, but you know, there's a huge kind of curve happening because Trump used to be kind of a big tent for everybody. Like, even though he went at Massey during the lockdown, he ended up, I think, endorsing Massey in the next election. So Trump would always like throw his weight, but then be like, okay, like I'm a big tent for Lindsey Graham and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And even though I don't like Lindsey Graham, I'm a rational person. It's like, I get it. Trump's got to play the game a little bit. But now when he's like, I'm endorsing Lindsey Graham, but I'm going to try to run Marjorie Taylor Greene, Rand Paul, Thomas Massey out of office. I have two mega donors, Elon Musk, Miriam Adelson. He has more, but I'm just saying those two. Elon runs out of the White House realizing Trump's not serious about the deficit and says he's in the Epstein files. Miriam Adelson and Dershowitz want him to have a third term. Like, when you start seeing this dichotomy, Trump stopped pretending to be a big tent for MAGA and people like Marjorie, and he's basically like, you're with me or you're against me, and with me is Rubio and Graham now. So I think that's like the big difference where people are turning on you even harder. Trump's taking these harder stances and isolating the people that we like, so then we voice our opinions about it, and you really see who's like brainwashed. Because there's a lot of people on my page that are like, I voted for Trump 3 times and he's really pissing me off, and I'm like, that's what's up. But then there's like the, you know, they
need to do the big tent stuff. Now he can do the stuff that he's supposed to be doing for the donor. So yeah, now it's like, get rid of MTG, get rid of Thomas Massey, get rid of Rand Paul. These are the people he's campaigning against while he's endorsing Lindsey Graham. I mean, if that doesn't tell you enough already, I don't know what does. But what do all these things have in common? Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are some of the people on the right that are pushing the hardest for the Epstein files. And so I'm sitting here now and you watch Trump kind of run.
So this was the line he was taking before Iran.
Running cover for the whole thing now, calling it a hoax. And now I'm sitting here running
cover for it.
How much do the Epstein files really play into all of this? It's like, sometimes I'm like, okay, are we overplaying this hand? And then other times I'm like, are we actually underplaying this hand?
people, let's not forget Epstein died in the prison cell when Trump was president.
Right.
And so I can't help. My mind goes these places. I go through, it's like,
Yeah, so that must mean that Trump killed him then.
in a video game or something, when you look at every single part on the map, that's, if I'm playing a video game, I look at every single part on the map. There's not a single part on the map I'm not going to explore. So I'm exploring every part of the map, and now I'm like, did Trump give the hit on Epstein? Like, was Trump part of the hit on Epstein? And then, of course, here comes Bongino and Patel. Of course, they're going to go in front of the media and say, oh, yeah, nothing to see with the Epstein thing, nothing to see here. It's like, how much do you think we put too much into the Epstein files, or do you think that really is a thread that kind of ties all this together?
I want to use a quick example because it's similar to the Epstein thing. I saw somebody today, and then I'll answer your question. They were talking about the Venezuela stuff, and they showed an article, a Fox News article, where Biden was going after narco terrorists as well. And they said, see, the Democrats are liars. And I'm like, absolutely.
Maybe these guys Trump are railing against should stop betraying him on almost every domestic issue.
Absolutely. They are liars. But here's what you don't understand. That just shows that Trump and Biden are not that different in foreign policy. And that's the real story, not the fact that Democrats are lying. Epstein files, same exact thing. Are Democrats lying? Of course, but like we never thought they were going to release it because Democrats are fake. So, the Trump administration will say, well, the Democrats are lying about it. True. They don't actually care about it. Absolutely. They're pushing biased stuff through it to benefit them. Yes, they are. But, I truly think that with the Epstein stuff, there's a combination of both. I think some people, you could say whatever you want about Epstein and like, you sound like a truther, like you could make the craziest statement and it's like, oh, maybe, who knows, So there's part of that. But also I do think that like the big story, besides what everybody knows about Epstein, is how like important and powerful he was. I think it was Dershowitz who said that he was introduced to him by Lady and Lord Rothschild. So with Trump, I think everybody's kind of said,
oh, yeah, Rothschild's handled his money. Just question them at the propositional level and watch them melt down, watch them freak out trying to find an answer. I don't think so. I think that people would freak out and be like, it's not fair that you used logic and reason, Andrew. That's not fair. So I think I'll beat him where he's actually strongest.
Because they like Trump. Like Trump doesn't know anything, or he kicked him out of the club and they weren't really that good of friends, because that plays into the Trump narrative. But I think the truth is this guy, it's hard to really describe, but it seems like he knew every powerful person, multiple people from foreign countries, like world leaders, top guys everywhere. It was introduced to someone by the Rothschilds. Like clearly this guy.
Sorry, he managed Rothschild money. That's right. I think I said that backwards, maybe.
Guy was like a top power player. And I think Trump just doesn't want, he's like, oh, he wasn't that big of a factor. Like, I think he was, So when there's mystery, people just start filling in the gaps with whatever they want. So I do think there's probably some sloppy reporting being done by everybody. And honestly, probably some victims that are real and then some that are, not. It's like, I don't really know because I haven't heard all the stories, but I'm sure a lot of them are telling the truth. Maybe some of them aren't, but at the end of the day, like clearly he was a powerful player. Clearly he was playing a massive role. And I think that's why disclosure is not really coming fast, is because both sides are lying about it. Trump's saying this, Democrats are saying this, and it creates this kabuki theater where it's like they're lying, they're hypocrites. But I don't think Bill Clinton wants anything to come out any more than Trump does.
These guys really thought Trump was trying to become president to take down the elite's precious, sweet children. I never believed any such thing whatsoever. Of course not. It's ridiculous.
So why didn't Democrats drop it? Why would they drop it? Like, that's not even a good talking point. Like, they want to show. It's not like Epstein only worked with Republicans. And I want to say that's the problem with not understanding this stuff. It's like, oh, the left has donors. So's the right. The left sold out to corporations. So's the right. Like, until you realize it's both parties doing a lot of this stuff, they play off each other. And it's like, oh, it's only Kamala and Biden. It's like, all right, probably not, but okay.
Well, and I forget the exact number, but when Epstein started up as a financier, he went from a teacher's aide at Bill Barr's dad's class. He was a teacher aide for Bill Barr, former Attorney General Bill Barr. He was his teacher aide for his father's class. I believe that was at Harvard. And he went from that to being a quote unquote financier. And then I think.
Oh, hang on. I forgot to put up the dono chat here. Sorry about that. My bad. Ruining my own grift. Who ruins their own grift? All right, there you go. Dono chat link is up if you guys want to donate that way. I'm not hearing much. This is just kind of typical rehash shit. Right?
It was in the 80s. I think it was in the late 80s. He had his
it was the Dalton School. Sorry, I just looked it up. The Dalton School, not Harvard. That's where he taught.
So the Dalton School with Bill Barr's father. So he goes from that to this financier role, where this is where he starts to get connected to the elites of the world, as you were describing. And then I think it was in the early 80s or late 80s maybe. He had his pitch for his financier company was he only took clients that were billionaires. He only took clients that were billionaires. And I believe at the time there were only 13 billionaires in the world. So, I mean, it's literally the top of the financial pyramid that this guy was connected to. And now we get more of this stuff. We see him obviously with Trump, with Bill Gates. He was clearly the elite pimp. I mean, that would be he was the pimp for the elites. And
rich people hang out with rich people. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to shut down a lot of the Epstein stuff with just basic logic. But rich people, they hang out with rich people. They don't usually hang out with poor people.
And maybe he was doing money washing for some of them. Maybe he was hooking them up with, a nice hooker that they could sleep with.
Yeah. So this is where one of the major contentions come in. There has to date been zero linkage between Jeffrey Epstein and trafficking anybody except to himself. Never. The only linkage that we've ever had of Epstein trafficking is him to him. That's it. It's all we've ever had.
Their wife wouldn't know, whatever, maybe a combination of the two. It's obvious this is what was going on. And I think about, obviously he was getting protected through the years, right? He was obviously getting protected. They kept spiking the cases. They kept getting him released from jail. And I'm just thinking, well, a guy like that in the 21st century, I think becomes more of a liability for them now, because they really don't need to run these pimp parties. They don't need to run these sex islands. They might still do it for fun, but for blackmail, now that everything is digital, now that you have everything.
You didn't traffic for Prince Andrew? No. No, we didn't traffic for Prince Andrew either. If you look, you need to look into the Prince Andrew and Gouffre case. It is fucking wild, dude. It is wild. You've been hanging out at the L dispensary lately? Don't continue your streak and give Wilson an easy win, please. What? What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking. You mean Schroyer? Owen Schroyer? What? Can't even get your shit together.
Digital on the internet, your social media profiles, everything you're doing, your browsing, everything, every transaction you make. Now they can just look at your digital life and easily blackmail people. They can find out if you're cheating on your wife. They can find out if you're gay. They can find out what you've been watching on the internet. They can find out if you've been doing anything illegal with money. They don't need an Epstein to do that anymore. So it's like
he hired girls for Alan Dershowitz from that high school. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. The Dershowitz was completely cleared. Here, I'll show you. Stupid fucking idiot. People don't follow any of this. How the fuck, Andrew, he's going to be banned of politics. Fucking idiot, don't know nothing. Dershowitz repeatedly denied the allegations linking him to sexual abuse in the Epstein matter and said he possessed sealed documents that would exonerate him. And he did. He did just that. There wasn't any fucking Dershowitz nothing. Give me your strongest piece of evidence that Dershowitz did anything. He always maintained his innocence and said that he wanted to take this to the nth degree. to prove that he had never done anything at all. Pure media hype. You people, too, with your stupid ass dialectics. Me just telling you what is factually true is not defending somebody. For some reason, and I don't know where this tactic comes from because it's not very it's not a very credible tactic, but people use it all the time. It'll work like this. Jeff's a murderer. Well, I've never seen any compelling evidence that Jeff's a murderer. Why are you defending Jeff? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Dershowitz immediately demanded full disclosure of all evidence and waived all privacy and privilege, framing that stance as proof that when material was examined, it cleared him. That account appears in his own opinion piece in interviews where he argues transparency vindicated him. Independent sources in the collection do not corroborate every detail that he waived. Blah, 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 or the third party of the files. He asserts sealed depositions, right? He points to emails and documents that he said changed the narratives. Dershowitz, I believe that the woman even retracted it. Let's find out. Let me just make sure I got this right. Make sure I'm not crazy here. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. Yeah, here it is. Right here. You fuckers. You fucking fuckers. Virginia Gouffre drops allegations against Alan Dershowitz, saying she may have made a mistake. Really? Credible Virginia Gouffre, who died from ODing, who made tons of false allegations about tons of people over her lifetime. I mean, tons. Gouffre says a woman who was a victim convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein has agreed to drop allegations against Attorney General Alan Dershowitz, saying she may have made a mistake when she also accused him of sexual abuse. The accuser, Virginia Gouffre, said in a statement that she was young at the time and she was trafficked by Epstein, and it was very stressful and traumatic. Gouffre alleged that Epstein had trafficked her to Dershowitz between 2000 and 2002, but Dershowitz always denied her claim. Dershowitz filed a counter-defamation claims against Gouffre and Boys. On Tuesday, the attorneys for Gouffre, Boys, and Dershowitz filed joint stipulations asking the judge overseeing the litigation to dismiss the claims with prejudice and without awarding fees to either side. The agreement confirmed by the parties resolves all the litigation between them. You were wrong, you fucker. This feels like the same thing Candace is doing. Crazy. You motherfuckers just make shit up. Just make it up. Make it up. What's the matter? What do you got, though? What's your evidence that Dershowitz did anything? What is it? The word of a woman who recanted her word? The word of a woman who also made tons and tons of false allegations, including about her own father? Recanted those, made allegations about high school boys who did things to her, had to recant those. Fucking people just lie. You just lie over and over again, and then you pretend that it's true. You just pretend that that's actually happening. You should follow Michael Tracy if you want to really dig into all of the Epstein evidence, because there's a lot more to it than you think, especially with the victims, the supposed victims of many of these crimes, who ended up not being much of victims at all of anything. There were a series of women who got paid like $200 that were requited from school. Yep, that's correct. So what Epstein's whole scam was He was paying local high school girls, who, by the way, some of them I think were over 18 and probably should have actually been prosecuted for trafficking because that's what they were doing, to bring their high school friends to his house where he would give them a couple $100 to give him a massage and other sexual favors. So he was paying these girls to have sex with him, essentially. That's what was going on. And they nailed his ass to the cross in Florida for doing that, by the way. Dyer would disagree with your mainstream opinions. I don't care. I use what's called evidence and reason. Okay. Gouffre had to retract the claims against Dershowitz because he had evidence that it was not possible. Very feminist coded to blame someone for something, even if they didn't do anything, simply just because their name was mentioned. It's just a bunch of bullshit, total bullshit. Michael Tracy, in my opinion, is undefeated in debates. Everyone else just go by his vibes. Thank you for the evidence. Look, I had a complete misunderstanding as well about what was going on with the Epstein case because I was focusing way too much on what other people said about it rather than looking into it myself. Once I started looking into it myself, I realized that there was a lot more there than met the eye. That's a case of mass hysteria where there shouldn't be mass hysteria. They still think you'll freak out if your friends disagree with you. I know. I know. Myron disagrees with you, though. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we better hate each other. Jay Dyer disagrees with you. Okay, well, then I guess we better hate each other. Too bad Virginia Gouffre had to drop the allegations made against Dershowitz. Too bad. It's almost like she was never a credible witness to begin with, ever. She claimed every guy she ever met basically human trafficked her. Everybody she ever met. She also made the claim that while she was an adult working for Epstein, she just knew in her gut that he was a pedo. Never gave any evidence for it. Crazy. It's just crazy. The story is fucking... The real story of Jeffrey Epstein is even crazier than the fake story of Jeffrey Epstein. The real story is even crazier than the legendary story.
Purpose was kind of retired, and so it's like, yeah, he's more of a liability now. Get him out of here.
Oops.
It's definitely a possibility because I think also when he's like recording everybody back in the day, that was harder to do. Not everyone had technology to record. Like you had to be like a psycho or pretty much a cop or something to have that technology. So
what's the real story? The real story is that you're sitting inside of a massive pedophile panic, very similar to the satanic panic of the 90s, where you make bold claims about all sorts of people being PDFs without ever having any evidence, only based on absence of evidence. That's the real story. Epstein? Sure. Absolutely. You can brand that guy a PDF? Fine with me. Delane for human trafficking? Totally fine with that too. The claim that there's an Epstein class, which is a global pedophilic elite, which operated inside of Epstein's zone, including American politicians. Never seen any evidence for that, ever. None. Who would have thought releasing a bunch of files to a public with a 5th grade reading level and no training in source documents would be a bad idea? Yeah, who would ever have thought that would have turned into a massive Democrat hoax either? Where now they claim, oh no, well, Trump is mentioned the most amount of times, therefore he's covering up a pedophilic elite. They turned the story into a fucking hoax. It's true. You're wrong, Andrew. Virginia said she was trafficked by every man she's ever met besides Trump. How are those cookies, though? Sorry, it got here late. Yeah, fair. The satanic panic wasn't fake. Andrew showing his ignorance, losing all credibility. Okay, what about the satanic panic was real? What about it was real? Were people doing a bunch of human sacrificing? Is that what was actually going on? Tell me what was real about it. The real story is crazy, and people are freaking out because he was such a big piece implicating all the power class. Implicating them of what? Of what? You utilize an absence of evidence as evidence itself. Yeah, the panic was real, that's true. The panic from the satanic panic was real. But what they were alleging was not real. All these people that I watched during the 4 years of Biden, Sodom, and Gomorrah feeling hopeful. This makes me so upsetty spaghetti. You're a lone warrior. Thank you. You're welcome. I care less about your relationship with Dyer. My point is that this is his wheelhouse, and he can give you a better understanding than Google articles and court summaries. I've discussed these issues with Jay Dyer in person. What do you mean? Been at this for a long time myself. Jay Dyer also doesn't believe that Trump was ever involved in any sort of PDF ring. Made that very public.
But it's like nobody was really expecting it back then. Like imagine partying in the 90s and 2000s. You're not even thinking of cell phones. Now everybody has cell phones. Everyone has spying devices, as you're saying. And just like that's true, I think it's also true that other.
That's fair, but to think that none of the people spending time on his island and stuff weren't involved with the girls he trafficked isn't that much of a stretch. Kind of is. The girls that he trafficked were domestic American girls from a local high school in Florida. The hell does that have to do with a private island that he has somewhere? What?
People could probably catch him doing stuff a lot easier. Like it was probably way easier to get away with, and nobody really knew about it 30 years ago. So it's definitely a possibility.
Hey guys, if the mainstream says it, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Hey guys, if the mainstream media says it didn't happen, then it did happen. Same logic applied, dummy. Same logic applied. So if the mainstream media says it didn't happen, then it did happen. And if the mainstream media says it didn't happen, then it did happen. If it did happen, it didn't. And if it did, it didn't. Got it. Some logic you got there. It's no wonder you believe fucking nonsense bullshit.
Possibility. One thing that I've thought, and this might not be popular to say because I don't know what everyone thinks. Like, obviously, I think some people were fooling around with women and girls in the presence of Epstein, no doubt. But I think everybody just assumes that everybody near him and everybody on his flight log was. And I think he probably did a combination of stuff. Like, some of it was financial, some of it was just like get these people, connect certain people, push people in a certain direction, lobby people, leverage people using other means as well. So I think the big story, at least for me, is like I think he was playing a huge role in compromising people in every way possible. Not like, oh, he went on his flight 2 times, he's guilty, he's done stuff with girls. It's like it's not necessarily true, but
exactly, it's not. It's not only not necessarily true, right? There's no necessity to there being a truth claim there at all. DOJ won't even investigate any of them. Let's start with Howard Lucknard. Okay, let's start with Howard Lucknard. What do you want to investigate Howard Lucknard for? Send in another super chat and tell me, and then we'll pull up the story of Howard Lucknard.
Definitely Epstein was trying to get that person, or at least Epstein was trying to, in some way, like attach their life to his life or their finances to something he wanted to do or push them in the direction of people that he worked with. So it seems to me like he was even bigger than like just a.
This is so funny. I really want to get on board with Andrew, but his inability to think outside of logicality is his Achilles heel. It's true. It really is my Achilles heel. I'm not capable of thinking about things unless it's logical. Fucking what an idiot I am. Fuck. Damn it. Rachel, can you bring me a bunch of booze and maybe I can get way more emotional? That'll make you feel better. What if I just did that? What if I just did like an emotional rant? And all these pedophiles in our Congress who are raping everybody in the Epstein class, destroying your life, they want you dead. if I was an unhinged fucking lunatic and just made up a bunch of shit but said it really emotionally.
I was friends with Charlie. I remember when he walked into rooms and lights went out. Okay, he was magical. He went to an X-Men school. I knew him, okay? And this is a very emotional time. Just fuck you.
You're right. My Achilles heel is I think too logically. Later family trigonometry, a special guest Christian nationalist lookalike Andrew. I'm going to check it out. We'll enjoy.
You don't even care. You don't even care about the kids. How come you don't care about the kids? You don't even care. You're leaving our kids. Why you don't even care?
Wonder why. You want to know why so many men? You want to know why I think about things this way? I'll tell you why. Because it's the fault of women, actually. The fault of women. It's through the over-emotional partaking in the stories of women in their emotional fucking, how they feel about things, that you end up with so many false allegations against men of sexual impropriety and other horrific things that they never fucking did. Ever. And in all of those cases, you same fucking cocksuckers come in here and you go, Andrew, thank God that you're questioning this narrative. Thank God you don't just instantly believe these victims. Thank God you use your logical brain. Thank God you use your fucking logical brain to put them to the fucking question and demand fucking evidence. Thank God. And then when it comes to this stuff, you say, how dare you use your logical brain? We need to believe all the fucking victims. Thank God. You think, Andrew, if you could just be a little bit more emotional and just fucking believe people because they're very emotional, I'd have a lot more respect for you. You understand the contradiction? Do you get what the contradiction is yet? On the one hand, when I advocate that you shouldn't believe all victims absent evidence, you praise me. And on the other hand, when I say that you shouldn't take any of this at face value absent evidence, you condemn me. It's in its very terms contradictory, which is why I don't believe most of the shit that I hear coming out of my own side. Because any other time, it's perfectly acceptable for me to question, demand evidence from people who claim that they were victimized in horrific ways. Except for some reason this time. And that's a failure on your part, not on my part. And I will be the
No, yeah, like the only guy, like Beric Dondarrion, he came back fairly normal. You know?
Fairly, but he still was kind of like, I don't know.
But he was super fanatic about the Lord.
He had a weird vibe to him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And John is going to be a freaking weird fanatic now.
Well, Beric has come back like
6 times.
7 times. So he's definitely.
That's the guy. That guy was kind of weird.
Listen.
Hey, if John gets a fire sword though, that's pretty epic.
I understand.
I
understand your feelings 100% because it's
No.
true. This
I'm
show.
Mr. Logical. And
This show.
You have to. You can only talk.
When are you gonna let me be me, huh?
Go ahead, bro.
Well, you have to hold.
Cody's me.
Cody's me, bro. When are you gonna let me be me? Listen.
Of course you would get Jack.
Surf's Up. I've never even seen the movie. I don't know.
You've never seen the movie?
I've never seen it either.
What the frick?
I've never seen it either.
Listen, I understand and I feel the same way. Even though I don't believe he's dead, I don't believe that Arya's blind. I think those two things are like
You know what,
pump
Carter?
fakes.
You can't get over it.
No,
He's
here's the thing.
died.
What if Arya's
blind?
not
What do you
blind,
mean?
but she only isn't blind if she wears other people's faces? Even that would suck.
I don't know.
Like,
We'll see. All I'm saying is this.
and she
It-
becomes all
it
weird.
does
oh,
suck.
Praise the many-faced God.
It does
blah, blah, blah.
suck, but like I feel like this is one of those shows, no matter how much it beats you in the dirt, no matter how much it makes you depressed, like when I think about Rob, I don't feel depressed anymore. I feel like a year from now you'll be like, show's so effing good, man. But in the moment you're just so done with it, you know?
No, I never said that it's not good. I just hate it.
No,
If
I know. I'm
someone
just saying,
dies,
like you're
here's the
like
thing.
you like kind of see it
Singing John.
more
If
just for
John-
the work of art that it is.
But it's like if John died,
I
like
agree.
getting a dub, I'd be like, okay, like I would feel good about the dub. I'd be like, he died with purpose. To just like get backstabbed
makes
and
sense,
mutinized
though.
and
of course,
like
they did
after
it, like,
all he's
Benjen!
done.
There's a Benjen.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that
guys
was
got
such-
I
that
felt
was
so
such
bad.
a strafe.
You guys
What a
got so
dirty
sad.
move,
And for
dude.
him.
Lulling him
so-
in with Benjen.
So dirty. And
Or
then
he
the
kind of
thing
made it
says
worse too, not on
the-
purpose, but you're just
No,
like,
because it
you're
was
like,
literally like
The one time you bring it up, he's back,
And then the sign says trigger.
well, I guess the Benjen White Walker theory is not
I
dead.
mean, dude, he
no,
took
it's very much
The odds just got
the odds
higher
are so
or
high.
better.
He took like
Because they brought up his name back, so you know they hadn't forgotten.
Yeah,
about
they're
him.
not gonna. If they weren't gonna ever bring him back, they would never want to mention him
No.
anymore.
No. So he's
Yeah, no.
definitely
Think
he's
about
back, for
and
sure.
dude, it has been years since he left from
Dude.
season 1. Years.
The
That's
get back
true.
possibilities
What a
that
long
Arya
time.
has now, that she can transform into whoever she wants, is crazy. Think about it. She could go she
Arya.
could go to
The
King's
Phrase.
Landing or the Phrase and literally pretend to be whoever she wants.
Yeah, she can infiltrate.
Oh,
See,
that's
that's
OP.
a,
Dude, I would love to just
That's
see her.
OP, bro.
To see her go ham on Walder, I would pay an astronomical amount.
She
see,
has
that's
to.
the thing.
She
I
has
feel,
to.
show
I feel
up
like
at the-
she will.
She has to because
Dude.
she keeps getting one by one.
Yeah.
Each person, except a couple that the Lord.
How lame if she has this whole list and just never
She
gets
turns
to it.
into no one and all weird and then blah.
No, yeah.
blah,
How
blah.
lame would it be if she has this entire list and just Marin Trant's the only guy she gets? No,
I would be
she's
really.
gonna get her
I'd be.
list.
I'm
That'll
happy
be,
that
that'll be. I'll pay money to see that.
I'm happy that she hid away her little like needle because I feel like if she would have thrown needle in, she probably would become like all in on that. You know, like I feel like that little bit of her is what kind of keeping her own personality still there. You know,
For sure.
like knowing that that's there.
I don't think Arya will ever forget.
I don't think so either because she even said to that guy, she's like, "I'm Arya Stark. Like, you know who I am." She made it a point.
Yeah.
You know?
We
All right,
looked at all.
guys.
We looked at all of our predictions.
We gotta stitch that. That's gonna be on the Discord, dude. That was crazy.
What? All right, well, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for the board. Also, if you're new or if you're returning and you didn't see, look at these. Look at this coaster holder we got. This dragon.
The guy
wait.
This
What if we
custom
start
Game
the
of
podcast?
Thrones.
Congratulations. You're now more brainwashed than the left.
Fair point. I'm dumb. I was actually just curious. No, I understand. Katy Perry has been formally accused of SA. I am tickled pink with emotion about it. From who? Is it from another woman?
Congrats. Congrats. So this is kind of the response. Allie Beth Stuckey. You know, I really don't want to be.
Don't find yourself agreeing with Allie Beth Stuckey, Owen, but I got a feeling he's going to be agreeing with Allie Beth Stuckey here.
I do believe that he didn't think of this as a depiction of Jesus when posting. So there's your answer. You are now dumber than a liberal.
Wait a second. There's more here. It actually says after that, still, there has to be more care and discernment.
And you can see the comments all pointing and laughing at her. Because that's what it is. I mean, so here's the perfect example. Even Brian Krasenstein. So here it is.
Even Brian Krasenstein.
This is my example in the digital.
Is Brian Krasenstein going to weaponize Christianity against Christians? No way. Say it ain't so. I don't believe that Krasenstein would ever do that.
Flesh. We're going to make up a new world. The digital flesh. All right, here's a Trump supporter shown this image. Okay, Allie Beth Stuckey, this image of Trump. He is depicting himself as what? Definitely not Jesus, a doctor. Allie, you're going to tell me this is Trump depicted as a doctor. Yes, that's Trump as a doctor. Okay, now let's go to the leftist.